The new era of global migration, how movement, policy, and opportunity are changing. Forever, migration has always been one of humanity's most powerful forces. People move to seek safety, opportunity, education, family unity, or simply a fresh start. But today, migration is entering a new era, shaped by technology, global economics, climate pressures, and evolving government policies. This shift is not temporary. It is a long-term transformation that will define how people move across borders for decades to come. This guide explores the migration trends shaping the world today, the forces driving movement, the policies reshaping borders, and the opportunities emerging for individuals and nations. Whether you are a traveler, a student, a worker, or simply curious about global change, understanding these trends helps you see the world more clearly. The global migration landscape is changing faster than ever. Migration used to be predictable. People moved from developing countries to developed ones, from rural areas to cities, and from conflict zones to safer regions. Today, the patterns are more complex. The economic migration is becoming multidirectional. For decades, the United States, Canada, Western Europe, and Australia were the primary destinations for economic migrants. But now, Gulf countries like UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia are attracting millions of workers. Asian powerhouses like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore are opening more pathways for foreign talent. African nations such as Kenya, Rwanda, and Ghana are becoming hubs for tech workers and entrepreneurs. Latin American countries like Chile and Mexico are drawing remote workers and digital nomads. Migration is no longer a one-way flow. It is a global web of movement, driven by opportunity wherever it appears. The climate migration is becoming permanent. Climate change is pushing millions to relocate. Rising sea levels threaten coastal communities. Extreme heat makes certain regions unlivable. Droughts and floods disrupt agriculture and food security. This type of migration is not temporary. It is reshaping entire regions and forcing governments to rethink long-term planning. The digital nomadism is redefining borders. Millions of people now work remotely, and countries are responding with digital nomad visas, remote work tax incentives, long-term stay programs. This trend is evergreen because remote work is not going away. It is becoming a permanent lifestyle option. Governments are updating migration policies to match new realities, while migration policies worldwide are undergoing major changes. These updates are not short-term political moves, they are structural shifts designed to adapt to a new global environment. The work visa systems are being modernized. Countries are redesigning work visas to attract skilled workers. Points-based systems, Canada, UK, Australia. Talent visas, UAE, Singapore, Portugal. Startup and innovation visas, France, Estonia, Chile. STEM-focused pathways, USA, Germany. Governments now compete for global talent the same way companies compete for customers. The student visa rules are becoming more structured. International students contribute billions to global economies. As a result, countries are tightening compliance rules, extending post-study work options, increasing digital monitoring, offering clearer pathways to residency. Education migration remains one of the strongest and most stable forms of movement. The humanitarian pathways are expanding. Conflicts, disasters, and political instability continue to drive asylum and refugee flows. Many countries are increasing humanitarian parole programs, expanding temporary protected status, TPS, creating emergency relocation pathways. These programs evolve constantly, but the need for humanitarian migration is evergreen. The technology is transforming how people migrate. Technology is now one of the biggest drivers of migration change. AI and automation are creating new job markets. As industries adopt automation, some jobs disappear. New tech-driven roles emerge. Countries adjust visa categories to match labor shortages. Workers who adapt to digital skills gain more mobility and opportunity. The digital identity systems are becoming standard. Many countries now use biometric passports, digital entry permits, online visa applications, AI-powered border screening. This makes migration faster, safer, and more efficient, but also more regulated. The global connectivity makes relocation easier. People can now research countries, instantly apply for visas online, find jobs remotely, connect with communities before moving. Migration is becoming more informed and strategic. The rise of regional migration zones. Large regions are creating shared migration frameworks that allow easier movement across multiple countries. The European Union, EU, the Schengen area remains the world's most advanced free movement zone, allowing visa-free travel, work, mobility, educational access, residency rights. This model continues to influence other regions. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. Africa is building a massive economic zone that will eventually support easier cross-border work, business expansion, regional migration pathways. The ASEAN mobility programs. Southeast Asia is expanding. Skilled worker mobility, student exchange programs, regional work permits. This strengthens economic integration across the region. Migration is increasingly connected to global stability. Migration is not just about people moving, it is about how movement affects global stability. The economic growth countries with strong migration policies often experience higher innovation, stronger labor markets, faster economic recovery, more diverse industries. Migration is a long-term economic engine. The demographic balance. Many nations face aging populations. Migration helps support pension systems, fill workforce gaps, maintain population growth. The cultural exchange. Migration enriches societies through language diversity, food traditions, cultural practices, global collaboration. This cultural blending is becoming a defining feature of modern life. The migration topics that will stay relevant for years. Here are the migration themes that will always matter: work visas and global talent mobility, student migration and international education, humanitarian pathways and refugee protection, climate-driven relocation, digital nomadism and remote work visas, border technology and digital identity, regional migration zones, EU, ASEAN, AfCFTA, economic migration trends, family reunification policies, long-term demographic shifts. These topics evolve, but they never disappear. What individuals should know about migration today? Whether you plan to move abroad or simply want to understand global trends, here are key insights. Migration is becoming more skill-based countries. Prioritize STEM fields, healthcare workers, engineers, tech professionals, entrepreneurs. Skill development increases mobility. The documentation matters more than ever. Digital systems require accurate records, clean immigration history, verified identity, updated passports. Preparation is essential. The long-term planning is key. Migration is no longer just about moving. It is about career strategy, financial planning, cultural adaptation, legal compliance. Successful migrants think long-term. The future of migration. What comes next? Migration will continue to evolve, but several long-term trends are clear. The more digital pathways. Expect online visa interviews, AI-based eligibility checks, digital residency cards, virtual border processing technology will streamline movement. The more regional integration. Large migration zones will expand, making cross-border movement easier. The more climate-driven relocation. Governments will create new programs for climate migrants. The more competition for skilled workers. Countries will compete aggressively for global talent. The more hybrid migration models. People will combine remote work, short-term visas, long-term residency. Multi-country living. Migration will become flexible and personalized. Migration is humanity's constant. Migration is not a trend, it is a fundamental part of human history. What changes is how people move, why they move, and where they move. Today's migration landscape is shaped by technology, economics, climate, and global policy shifts. These forces will continue to evolve, making migration one of the most important evergreen topics of our time. Understanding these patterns helps individuals make smarter decisions, helps governments plan for the future, and helps societies grow stronger through diversity and innovation. Subscribe for more adventures.